This is my Potter's Journal for November 2022. Okay, November, my favorite month of the year. Today, we will take a look at some highlights from a couple kiln openings, some progression of form and shape, and look at drying out pots so they don't explode in the bisque. I don't know, maybe we'll even get to the farmer's market in this video. Okay, let's see what's going on in the kiln today. Okay, more like what came out of the kiln this week. This was, okay, here we go with the sea mist on the inside and standard ceramic snow on brick on the bottom over a white slip. And here it is, you can see what's going on under the glaze a little bit better. And here even more if the glaze is thinner on the bottom. And here with just the sea mist and a black slip. This is a new shape, these short, fat little cups. They were a special request. Somebody saw this tumbler at a show, and the mug, you can see behind it, towering it above. She said, "You make anything smaller?" And I did actually put one aside as a prototype from 2017, and you can see how much thicker they were back then and how much thinner they are there. So I also knew that I had a couple Pittsburgh mugs packed away that were smaller too. So we'll see. Hopefully she'll like one of these styles. I do. This is going to become a permanent, part of my mug repertoire. And yes, it is November. These are wreaths lining up on the grass here, getting ready to go out in a week or two here. Yarn bowls. Okay. You could tell my heart was never in it, but somebody requested a bigger one at the farm market. So I actually did do a shape and a form that I actually like, with the sea mist again on the inside and the snow on brick on the bottom. It's occasionally problematic. It sometimes bubbles and pinholes, but as long as I don't do a whole kiln load, it comes out fine. So we got to be careful about that. And yeah, so a little bit of a southwestern appeal to it. But the big controversy, this not going up to the top. And I thought they're going to break. That gives it strength. But the thing is, if you're knitting something and you put it down, you have to put down both the needle and what you're working on. So you can't take it out. But at the same time, if you do that, put them aside together, you can maybe not break it. But then there is the problem of if you're working on two things at a time. So I'm going to redesign a yarn bowl. Somebody who doesn't know or what to do with it or how, or what it is. It may be wrong to have a guy do the stitchery bowls. Maybe that should be left to the ladies. And another one, the chicken roaster, and getting it right with the back and forth with the customer at the farm market. These were just barely big enough. The fat for him came up right to there, but it was big enough, and most people are shopping a price point. So I did make some bigger ones here and told him, you know, everything you do is going to add to the price with a pouring spout. He liked the idea. So this is an extra pound or more of clay. We'll see if it works out, and that is the thing. And to have an option, to have the one that meets your price point, and then be able to explain. But this one goes the extra mile. And the espresso shots, if you missed the Red Hawk Coffee video from last week, go back and watch that. The garlic grater plates, the small ones, I built up an inventory for the olive tap, and actually I think somebody else is going to take them as Christmas gifts before he even gets a chance to order them. And pie plates, you know what, we're going to have to stand back because there's always something new I've got to say about them. Even like maybe we could make some small little tart size pie bakers. And there was a bit of back and take with Red Hawk to get the espressos just right, and with the olive tap to get these just right. There is no give and take. If somebody wants a pie plate, I do them in a range. A complete range of sizes. Look at that. Look at that. So no matter what size you want, because somebody always gets out a roller and says, what size is it? There, look at that. Every size you could want. Somebody in the end couldn't find two that were the same. And I said, well, how would you know you'd want them the same? And she stacked up and made a range of them. And the other thing, this is so exciting. Look at this size. Look at the size of this thing. It is huge. Okay, there's a sea of distance between me and you across there. I think when I was making this at the Southside Historic Village, I've got 2 names written down that I have got to call and tell them it's done, because it already has. There were 4 of these, but there were 2 that were a little extra large, so this is going to come a permanent part of the range too. Also an idea for casseroles. I think I will do just 3 or 4 fluted on this side and this side to suggest a large lifting casserole handle. Somebody did say they wanted one with a lid and handles, and I said, are you ready to pay for it? And then when you go to, they could take it to that dinner, you're likely to drop and break the lid. You're going to want to put a piece of foil on it and leave the lid at home. She took this instead, because these are 40, oh well, they're probably more for other people, but for me, I'm happy getting 45 or 50 out of them. But once you go and put handles on them, I see most people having them at about 65 or more. And once you put a lid on, there we go. It's a $100 pot. So, yeah, do they really want to pay for it? And this is something I'm not accustomed happening. This one came out with a crack in it here out of the bisque. This one, okay, well this one came out without of the bisque that way, but I decided a flower pot I was going to close anyway. And this guy, okay, with a bit blown off the bottom. Now, I'm putting it down to summer humidity. In the winter, everything dries out completely with the wood stove burning. So, this was a big project for me this summer. That's why I just showed you some of the other stuff that I've been doing while working on this. But it's fun to look at everything you can run into in a big project. I'm going to walk you back now to August and how I dry these out. Okay, wait till you see this. And to dry things out, right, you have to turn them upside down. But is this such a smart move? So the summer humidity, these things drying out so slow, I don't fast dry things. But if I'm going to get going for fall shows, I had to bring these face jugs out here. Line them up in the sun and the wind. They're almost dry, but they need a little bit more before we get them in the... And still not drying out in this summer humidity and the wet, damp rain we've been having. Here they are. Okay, out here, soaking in some sun. Okay, it's always great to have you here. It motivates me. So stop back and see what's going on in the studio next week.